Randomness, it's a girl thing. Planning your entire future with a guy you've only spoken 3 words to, it's a girl thing. Online shopping problem, it's a girl thing. A full camera roll, it's a girl thing. Going to the bathroom together, it's a girl thing. You name it, it's a girl thing.
Hi, and welcome back to the It's a Girl Thing podcast. It's Kate, and I have a super exciting guest today. This is Ali, and I'm so excited to have her on. Ali, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and your everyday life?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Ellie, an 18-year-old. Oh, 19-year-old. I wrote this when I was 18 years old. I turned 19 last Thursday from New Zealand. I'm about to go into my second year of uni in Christchurch studying law. I love all things fashion, beauty, health and wellness, which is what I post about on my socials. And my most used platform is probably TikTok, which I mainly just post vlogs of my everyday life.
Honestly, I love a good just like daily vlog in general.
Mm.
It
So good. And
either
then you get like such a good background of the person as well.
That's true. I also feel like I end up, if I'm in like a giant rut and I can't work out what I want to do with my life, I just go and watch a bunch of random people's daily vlogs, and I'm like, okay, what can I do today?
Especially, yeah, especially when they're productive. But also, since I film daily vlogs like pretty much every second day, it makes me productive because I want like content, if you know what I mean. So I film, like I do things that I probably wouldn't do every day sometimes, too, but just to get content, and then I also get more stuff done, which is
But
really good.
but then the thing is, although you're forcing yourself to do these things, you're still doing them. So it's like you're crossing from that border of like unrealistic and pretending like you're doing something to just forcing yourself to do it, but you're still doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So since we're kind of talking like UGC, side hustles, all those kind of things, social media, I just thought we'd touch on like 9 to 5 jobs because I feel like that's really what everyone's trying to move away from, especially.
Gen Z is just like absolutely not.
Have you worked like
Mm.
a 9 to 5 kind of like job when you've been like part-time or holidays or things like that?
Not really, not 9 to 5. So I've done like 8 to 4. Like that's usually standard for my part-time job at my holiday program. I work at a holiday program, just like during summer and breaks and stuff, like uni breaks. But other than that, like when I'm at uni, I work a part-time job like sports coaching, and that's like 10 hours a week, you know? So I've
Yeah.
never really worked 9 to 5, which is very fortunate actually. But I'm also quite young in my life, so maybe fingers crossed I don't have to, but I'm studying law, so I feel like I might be going down the corporate baddie vibe.
Did you find with like the 8 to 4 of doing the like holiday program stuff, you like lost most of your day? Or do you feel like because it
Oh,
finished at 4, you still had some time?
well, see, I'm a productive morning girl. So like once it hits 3, I'm done. That's me for the day. Like I'll do some of my like social media stuff because I like actually enjoy that, but I cannot work out after 3. I can't do anything. I just get so like ready and done. So when I, especially working in a holiday program with kids, it drains you. And so when I finish at 4, all I can think about is going home and eating food usually. And then just getting into my pajamas and getting into bed. Like, so yeah, I definitely find that it's, even though like obviously you're making money, it's almost a waste of a day because you're not like minimum wage, and it's like it's your holidays. You don't really want to be doing that every single day, like so many teenagers in New Zealand do.
I think also at the same time, also because it's different if you're like passionate about something. So
Mm,
if you were doing like 8 to 4 and something that you absolutely loved, you'd almost want to do that anyway, with even if you weren't getting paid. Obviously,
mm,
you want to be paid, but
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I feel with social media. Like I can easily sit at my desk from 8 to 4, and the time just goes away from me, and still be fine to be productive after because it's almost like a hobby, like it's fun. So I feel like it's not like I just think, yeah, especially because I work like in that context, I work for myself. So because I know that I don't have to be doing it in a way, I kind of want to do it more because not someone's not there being like, you have to be here. Like, this is when your lunch break has to be, and that type of stuff. Like, if I'm hungry, I'll go eat. If I need to go to the bathroom, I'll go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bit more flexible. And
you
so
can
I
also
feel
like take a
less,
brain break as well. So if you're like, nah, this is just
yeah,
too much, I need to go step away for 10 minutes and go do something else, you can.
like go for a walk or something as well. Like, yeah, I do love that aspect of it.
I definitely feel that because my part-time job that I've worked for like the past 2 years, I would do It's about like 8:45 till 6:30 every
Oh, see, no,
Sunday.
girl. I could not.
Oh, I didn't realize just how long the hours were on that one day. Like it was only one day a week, but I had no Sunday. I never had a
Mm.
Sunday. And then like
And
working the
low-key,
same
that's like,
hours in the holidays as well. It was like
and when you're
nine
still
till
in
five or nine
school,
till six.
yeah, when you're still in school and you have a Sunday job working that crazy amount of hours, even just like an 8 till 4 on a Sunday, and you've got school Monday to Friday or even uni, you've only got Saturday, you know? And then it also makes it like almost you can't really be the best version of yourself if you're not taking time for yourself. And I feel like uni's a bit better because it's a bit more flexible, but school, you're always at school, you know?
Yeah. Well, for me, I also ended up working Sundays because I spent most of my day at my dance studio on a Saturday. So I was really left with about 5 or 6 hours on a Saturday, like late afternoon. And that
Oh
was my
no,
time.
that's
And then
yeah.
I was done for the week. That was all my
And then you're not even like re-energized and ready for another week. And it's almost like
exact.
you're dreading to go into the next week. See, now I literally Mondays, like on a Sunday, I'll sit down in the evening and write out my what I've got going on, and I actually get excited to go to bed and wake up on a Monday, even if I've got uni on because I love what I'm doing. But yeah, I couldn't think of anything worse, like not having the freedom or even just having a day to myself.
I think it's also hard when you have to like come home and you've still got to like do your jobs. Like you've got to change your sheets, you've got to do laundry, you've got to do this, that, and the other. So if you don't like plan that into your week, it comes around
Yeah,
Saturday. You spend half a day Saturday cleaning, a little
yeah,
bit of chill time on
that's
Saturday,
what
and
I found.
day working. Like there's no,
Especially going into halls, you kind of like, even though uni you don't have to be at the lecture, would recommend going, but you don't have to. You still like you've got so many more things that you need to do in a way, and it's sort of like time gets the better of you. And so I found like at home, most of my washing's done daily. In halls, I was lucky to get it done like every second day. You know, like it was just like so finding the time. And so I think it'll be interesting this year because I'm going flooding. But yeah, it's those little things like, or even like doing a face mask. Like I get in this like thing and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't done a face mask in the longest time. Or dermaplaning. What's
yeah,
the little like face shaving? Oh, so good. But yeah, I always like forget to do that type of stuff, which is obviously really good for you and like important self-care we love.
I think, yeah, trying to find time for the things that actually like fill your cup as opposed to just constantly trying to pour from something that's just about run out.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, let's dig straight into some like questions about UGC. But firstly, my first question is, what's your favorite thing about being a girl? Because that's really what we're all about is like girlhood and everyone's different
Yeah.
experiences.
Well, because obviously we had a little chat before, a little prep, when you asked me this question, I knew exactly what I was going to say. Kind of silly, and this is for 18 plus listeners, but the drunk conversations with random girls in like a club or like bathroom, the best part about being a girl, 100%. But like in seriousness, going off that, just like female friendships in general, so much more special than like female male friendships. But yeah, definitely my favorite part of being a girl is female friendships and just like meeting people and stuff.
Thing is, I absolutely love asking this question. Not only because it's like what I love talking about, but at the same time, I'm literally talking to so many different people, and they've either all got very similar answers or very different answers. So the
Mm,
people I've all talked to recently are literally female friendships, female connections, female advice, like all it's all that connection and relationship
yeah,
based. I guess, yeah. It's something that I feel like male friendships, like they've got a different dynamic of it entirely.
100%. And I definitely, maybe I've got a biased opinion, but I think female friendships are superior.
I think depending on the day, I would agree. Depends who
Yeah,
you're
true.
talking
We've all
to.
been there. We've all been there.
But I think female friendships teach you a lot more about yourself and what you do want in a friendship because you learn
hmm
pretty quickly,
And
like,
even on life in general, like especially now my flatmates, like I'm flatting with 5 other girls, they're all such beautiful human beings and we all have the same like interests, like we love going for walks, we love going to the market, and like that's building like a life dynamic or like what you kind of want your life to look like now. And that's how I find like I'm really quite picky with my friendships now. Obviously I've got like my friends from school still, But now, because you kind of have a fresh start of building those connections and friendships, so I'm quite selective in picking people that number one support me and like raise me up, because that's obviously very important, but also have the same interests in me. And when I say interest, I don't mean like I play netball, so I don't mean like all play netball, but just like I'm quite like health and wellnessy. Like I care about that type of stuff. I love making like really nice, nutritious meals. And so do these girls. And that's why I feel like once you have like a good friendship circle, it's like one of the best parts about being a girl, because it's just exciting and it's fresh and it inspires you and stuff.
Yeah, definitely finding people who share the same. I think the word kind of you're looking for is like priorities.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
things they want to put first all the time. And I definitely agree. The sooner you find people that share some of those same priorities and the same thought process.
It's actually like scrolling on Pinterest, but it's real life.
But like, yeah, you can look at them and be like, dang, I want to be like her more, or
But it's not like jealousy, it's more like I
inspiration.
just yeah. Goes back to the inspiration word, doesn't it?
Okay. What made you want to start posting on social media?
Don't even start on this question. Well, I started posting silly little YouTube videos
Oh,
in year nine. So what was that, like 7 years ago now? Or almost 7 years ago, 6 years ago. I I just like I don't there wasn't like a specific thing that made me want to start. They were obviously very cringe and they're not up now, so don't even try finding them. I do have YouTube
boring.
videos up though. I know I do have YouTube videos up because I was on YouTube until like halfway through last year, because it came too much with the rest of my social media. But yeah, I did start on YouTube, and I just got inspired by the other YouTubers at the time. Like it was like, I don't know if you're a big YouTube watcher, but like the Bethany Moda and the Alicia Marie and like,
Yeah.
those girls.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just loved watching them. And oh, do you know Millie and Chloe? They're Aussies, and they're like,
You.
yeah, I loved them, and they're similar age to me. And so I just think at the time, obviously, I didn't even know that you could number one make money, or like I didn't know about brand deals, I didn't know about the free stuff that social media creators are getting. But it was more just like, I always say this as well. I'm not a creative person at all, but when it comes to creating content for social media, I am. And I think that at that age, I feel like every kid, like I was still a kid, needs a creative outlet. And at that age, I didn't have one because I couldn't draw, I couldn't sing, couldn't dance, like none of that sort of like, I couldn't express my creativity. And then I found that and I was like, well, this is fun. Like, I like this. So when I wasn't playing sports, because I was quite a sporty kid, I was like literally in my bed, like editing YouTube videos or just making them and not posting them. But I just found it really entertaining.
That's a stage that almost every kid went through, though. They're like YouTube videos for yourself. Whether you even recorded them or not, you were just living
Talk
like
to yourself, do my
video.
makeup.
In a way, it was like being able to convince yourself to do something or making something that you do every day or something you didn't like doing interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I love making. They're so cringe now, but
I think, yeah, I think that's half the fun of like seeing some people's like TikToks and stuff now, is you're like, you can tell they're just doing it for the pure joy of making something for themselves.
it is nice, even just like looking back, like on the memories and like different times, because I can still see my videos from year nine. Yeah, every now and then I go through a phase and I'll just like go back and watch them all from like the Ed Sheeran concert I went to in year 10 and just like stuff like that, or like family holidays. Like my family went to Aussie, I think when I was in year 9 or 10, just like stuff like that, which I die watching it because I'm like, Ellie, what on earth? But it's so fun, and it's honestly like such another experience because it just brings you back. And I feel like that's what's so special about making videos over like photos, is you're actually in the moment. And if you were there at the moment, it's so much easier to bring you back.
I love sometimes just going for that like nostalgic scroll, but then you look at areas of yourself and you're like, what decision was that? Why did you do
Yeah,
that? What were you
that's me.
thinking? Wholeheartedly. It's like,
Mine was mine was more just like my voice. Like it was so high pitched and I just talked like, I don't even know, like Logie, borderline like a snob. Like I don't know what I was doing or who I thought I was. I thought I was some big YouTuber, but I really had like 50 followers, subscribers, whatever they're called.
hey, fake it till you make it, honestly. Okay. How do you cope with any like negativity that comes through your accounts?
I've been pretty fortunate in not receiving a ton of hate like other creators. Most of my hate actually comes from gossip amongst like people who live around me, which is low-key pretty shit, like considering. Like I like to view it at the end of the day, haters are actually borderline supporting you because if they're watching your content, it's getting you more engagement and then therefore more like money if you're making money or more exposure to brands, stuff like that. So I always try to remember like any talk is good talk. Obviously, unless you're like there's a reason that people are hating on you. But if it's just because they want to, like any talk is good talk because it's just giving you exposure. Sometimes my friends will take the piss sometimes, but that's just banter. But yeah, it's mainly just like when I was at uni, like I'd just hear people in my hall would be like saying stuff about it, like, oh, there's the TikTok girl. I don't know. I feel like I'm at a stage now where I've got kind of like enough of a supportive community. I don't feel like it really gets to me because I'm like, well, look at all these amazing people who follow me and comment nice things on my TikToks, or I get nice DMs from people, and it just makes it so worth it. But yeah, I haven't really experienced like hate comments. I've gotten a couple, but it's like immediate remove, block, bye, out of my life.
It's like you not with my time.
No, it's not.
Definitely the thing I've noticed is the smaller of a creator you are, the more the hate is like seems bigger than it is. Because you come to
Mm,
like creators with hundreds of thousands of followers, and yes, they get their like hate comments, but like when you see 5 hate comments and 1,000 positive ones, it's like
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. So like if you're only getting 3 comments and two of them hate comments, that's pretty rough.
Especially when you're
But
trying to
yeah.
like build an account because you get to that area
Mm,
of like my podcast's like slowly growing, but it's like in that awkward stage of I'm trying to put myself out there, I'm trying to do these things, but lots of people I know are seeing it, and it just seems like,
and it's cringe.
yeah,
It
it
seems
seems
like
cringe.
you're trying too hard. That's how I find sometimes. Like I even like okay, I posted a reel last night of my like Skims unboxing haul, and like reels aren't really something that like people post as such. You know what I mean? Like it's only really the big creators. And I was like, I feel like people are gonna be like, oh my god, this girl like who does she think she is? But then I was just like, oh wow, like I'm just too far in now. I'm just like, oh well, I'm just gonna do it now.
It was literally so cool.
But
I
I've
was so
never,
excited for you. I saw it and I was like, what?
I know, yeah, if anyone didn't know, I got some Skims PR. It was unreal when I got the email. I was like, I literally showed mum, I was like, oh my God, what is life?
Did they reach out to you or?
So Skims actually has an influencer program and you can like apply. And like I did at the end, I think start of December, because I was like doing my like what I want to bring into 2024, like the type of person that I want to be. And I like wrote down like brands that I'd love to work with. So Loki, I think I manifested it, but
Hey, you go.
that's another
However,
topic.
however you did it, you did it.
So I applied in December and then they reached out like a couple of weeks ago for their February collection. And I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Because obviously I didn't think it was gonna happen. Like maybe a little bit later on in the year if I got a little bigger, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, so many people were like, how did you do this? Like especially small creators. So might be making a TikTok about that one soon. But yeah, so many companies actually, big companies, love working with smaller influencers because I do find our audience is so much more based off like people who either know us or like have some sort of connection, and then just like people in the same sort of area as us, especially in New Zealand. Like if you're from New Zealand and you want to be a content creator, do it because there's like barely any competition. Like that's what I find. Like compared to if you're trying to make it in the States, like there's just so many massive people. Whereas here, brands are looking for like creators outside of their country, especially like New Zealand, Australia, because they want to like obviously promote to different areas. But yeah.
Definitely. I feel like there is so much that's kind of, it sounds really silly, but in like, I want to build the podcast, but obviously I want to build it to a stage that eventually it could be like monetized.
Mm.
And in order to do
Yeah,
that,
you
I've
can
got to like
monetize them.
put myself out there, but that also means like building socials alongside it.
Yeah.
And so it's like kind of weird though, because with a podcast, you've got to post obviously the content about the podcast, but at the same time, content about you.
Well, that's what I find with lots of my social media. I always think of it as a business, like it is, really, because you've got to have your own personal brand, and how you portray yourself is so important. Even just like UGC or like any, obviously like my social media brand deals, the client, like the brands that want to work with know me and know my content or whatever. But like it's more the other stuff, like other services there is like UGC. It's so underestimated, the fact that you need to have that personal branding, and like you need to present yourself in a way that will attract brands.
Definitely. So this kind of leads in, why did you switch to like UGC content as opposed to just being like a content creator slash influencer?
To be honest, I wanted to find a way to make the most of the time that I was already putting into social media and creating content for brands and not getting paid. So kind of like all that energy that I was not wasting, I don't want to say that, but I could have been getting paid through UGC. So yeah, when I came across UGC, I was like intrigued that these small creators were able to get all the perks of like full-time influencers. So that's just, I was just like ready to kind of take my social media to a more like paid format, I guess.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what is UGC? Because I only found out about it because of like social media, and I actually had to do a deep dive to find out what it actually is. So if anybody who doesn't know what it is, how would you describe it to them and explain it?
So it stands for user generated content. So basically, kind of in the simplest terms, I create social media ads for brands that they post on their accounts. That's like the best way I could describe it. So instead of Skims, for example, that's like a social media collaboration. So they send me product, I promote that on my account. But UGC is the brand sending you stuff, you making, it's definitely more of an ad type of vibe. And then they have usage rights to that. So you don't need to post on your socials about it or that brand. You just send them the finished videos and then they post it. Because I think it's more of an organic advertisement for the brand rather than like the classic ads that you see on social media.
Is it just me? Do you see a million and one ads from the High Smile brand? Because I swear
Oh,
I can't
yes.
open TikTok and not have one of them pop up.
Yeah. So probably lots of these would be UGC. Lots of brands are doing it now because, yeah, if you see like just me, for example, in my room talking about a product, like just your average teenage girl, it's going to be a lot more like it's going to attract a lot more of an audience, especially if I'm their target audience, rather than like some 40-year-old CEO trying to like promote their brand.
Definitely. I think it's such a cool idea though, because you are able to get, like, for example, if I saw you promoting something, I'm more inclined to purchase it because I'm like, well, either
Mm,
I know you, I have a connection with you, or I'm like, well, she's my age, she looks like me, or does this that I do and
yeah.
is promoting their products. So
It's
it's something
definitely smart for brands to do that.
it's almost funny
But
that it
even like
didn't happen sooner.
I know, and so if you go on Instagram, I think it's every third Instagram story is a like usually a UGC ad.
Oh, okay.
So everyone get out your phones, go on to Instagram, click on your stories, and I think it's like every third one. And you'll be able to tell once you've got an eye. Maybe because I create them though that I can like tell, but once you got an eye for it, you're like, oh my god, that's like UGC.
That's very cool. If for people who want to like start UGC, what things do you need to get started?
You need some knowledge or background on social media and the marketing like scene of that. I've had like as I was talking about before, I've had my own personal accounts before, and I have like worked with brands in the past. So I already knew kind of how to create organic advertisements that were engaging, which is really good, like really helpful for me. But if you don't, like I would honestly just start by posting like your UGC journey on TikTok because you're going to get so many like brands that want UGC creators because obviously they're going to be like scrolling through TikTok and like the algorithm puts what you want to see on your For You page. But also, if you're sharing your journey, other UGC creators are likely to follow you and help you out. So if I was starting out again, that's what I would do. But since I already have my following, I was like I already know how to promote a brand. Going off that, you will need your own like personal social media accounts where you can create content and just promote yourself as a UGC creator as well as a portfolio. That's really important.
Kind of touched on this. How did you learn what you needed to know for UGC and like creating the contracts that I know you need to do it?
Yeah, so TikTok is actually really insightful. And like there's so much free knowledge out there. So many UGC creators will try to get you to pay for like a ebook type of thing that will they say that that's what you need to be a UGC creator. Not true. Don't pay the like $14.99 or whatever it is, because there's so much free information out there. Even if like you're interested, honestly flick me a DM on Instagram, or like there's so many other creators out there, and like ask for advice. I actually did a girl from New Zealand, Isabella Ross. Don't know if you've heard of her. She's a
Don't think
TikToker.
so.
Yeah, so she's from Auckland, and she's my age. She started UGC about 2 months before me, I'd say. And I asked her for advice, and I just said like, how did you start? What do I need to know? And it's so nice to talk to someone who was located in New Zealand, because lots of TikTok people saying stuff aren't from New Zealand,
No.
and at a similar stage to where I was at. And it's also like just a bit more trusting getting advice from someone who's a bit more similar to you.
I think that's the biggest thing I've found in general is because New Zealand's kind of off to the side of all these big countries, we also have slightly different rules or slightly different access to things because things come to us way later than a lot of other places.
That's what I found for the contracts portion of that question as well. I didn't even think I would need one until I spoke to that girl actually, Isabella, and she said like you'll need to get a contract organized to protect yourself and all that. So I feel like it's just by talking to other people who are in a similar location and similar age and just a similar like part of their journey.
Definitely. I think, yeah, being able to connect with lots of different people would be a huge help in any area of social media, whether it's influencing, content creation, UGC, podcasting, all of the above. Do you already have to have a following to be successful at UGC, or can you just start from the bottom and work your way up?
I don't think you need to already have a following. You can definitely start like a UGC business with 0 followers. It does help because you're already exposed to potential clients, they call them. And if you've done like for me, I had done like gifted collaboration. So I reached out to some of those brands that I'd already worked with and said like, now I'm doing UGC style. So did you want like a UGC creator? And that kind of helped for me. But it's not like a need. You can it will take a little bit longer, but if you're like committed, obviously anything can happen.
I think that's good to know because I feel like there's this huge like belief that you've got to already have a following to be able to be successful at it or at anything on social media. But then everyone who's got a following is either somebody who's had to start from exactly where you are or they were famous to begin with.
Yeah, I know.
Top tips for someone who wants to be consistent and successful at UGC or social media?
I can really only speak in regards to TikTok as a social media platform, as that's where I've had like my most success and kind of been the most consistent.
Oh, not
but I feel like
little Ellie's YouTube?
No, I cannot. I was consistent, and I actually do. I think I have like maybe 4,000, no, less than 4,000 followers, subscribers. But yeah, TikTok. I aim to post at least one time a day, and there's always this talk about like when to post to be kind of get more views and stuff. But I don't really listen to that because I don't think it actually matters that much, to be honest. For a while there, I did like post at like 8 p.m. and that type of stuff, but no. So yeah, post at least once a day and just stay consistent to what you're posting. So like for me, I do daily vlogs like every second day and then kind of switch up the content every now and then because obviously followers love different content. But if you're doing like the same thing almost every day, you're going to get followers that want to stay followed to you.
I think that's good because I'm taking information away from this as I go as well because it's all stuff that'll help. But yeah, I definitely agree with the staying consistent because if you don't stay consistent, nobody's going to want to stay consistent following you. Yeah,
you just got to think like from the viewer perspective. You're not going to follow someone if they start posting they post a daily vlog and then the next day they're like cooking and then the next day they're going pet accessory shopping. Like you're not going to follow them because it's just too different. Like you just want that one quite consistent topic or niche. You don't need to stay to the same niche. I don't think that's that important, but like just lifestyle niche in general is quite a good like overview of everything.
I definitely think there's this thing about like niching down, and I feel like that gets so hard because you don't want to get trapped too much in a tiny box. that you can
Yeah,
never come
yeah.
out of it again.
So I always just say like I'm a lifestyle creator because I love fashion, I love beauty, I love health, I love wellness, like all that stuff.
What has been your favorite UGC job so far, or social media job?
I worked with a gut skin supplement company in Aussie, and it was a product that I genuinely still use to this day. It's really good for like gut health, and then obviously that kind of your gut reflects on your skin. But for UGC, it's not very often that you use the product after you've like created the content with it, just because like you're not the one who's, it's not unauthentic because you're not the one who's posting about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you usually just get it, whatever. But this was one of my first clients as well, and the person that I was in contact with, he was actually the CEO, or like co-founder, co-CEO kind of thing. And he was just like so lovely and really patient with me when I was trying to figure it all out. And I think that I actually learned a lot from that job as well. And he was really good, like helping me out with the international payment, because that's another thing that you've got to kind of, it's another barrier to cross when you're working with clients outside of New Zealand. Yeah, but he was so helpful. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite one so far.
That sounds like good that you got that external advice as you were going along from someone who is like directly what you're going to be seeking out in the future.
Yeah. No, he was really good, and he even said like your rates that you're charging are so low, like put them up, girl. So that was actually really helpful. Yeah, he was lovely. Loved him.
Okay, any words of encouragement for those wanting to get away from a 9 to 5 and start UGC as a side hustle?
Just start and stay consistent. Don't give up too early, because obviously the UGC marketing, social media in general, don't give up too early, because I feel like this is quite a like oversaturated industry now, the social media one, but there's always room. Like if you've got something different and you truly believe that you have what it takes, and like it's not you, there's room for you. Also say yes to gifted collaborations to start off with, and then like prove to the brands that you are worthy of their money. But at the same time, don't let brands kind of take you for granted. And if you work with the same brand a couple of times, I definitely think like it's time to, move to a paid collaboration.
That's really good advice. Well, thank you for chatting with me. I have
all
definitely
good. It
learned a
was
lot for
fun.
myself, and I feel like other people will get to learn a lot more about what UGC is and how they could pursue it if they're interested. So yeah, if
Yeah, well,
people want
hopefully.
to find you on social media, where can they find you?
Okay, TikTok is hi Ellie Murray, and Instagram is just _ Ellie Lovett. So yeah, go follow me. It's a fun time over there.
Keeping it interesting. Especially, yeah, if you're from New Zealand, definitely Ellie is a great person to follow because it's definitely very relatable.
Oh, that's lovely.
But yeah, if you've enjoyed our episode, feel free to give it a rate and review on Spotify. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode. It's been great having you. If you have any topics you'd love for me to discuss, want some big sisterly advice, or just want to say hey, just reach out to me on Instagram at It's a Girl Thing Pod, and I hope you join us next week. Stay beautiful.